Okay, outstanding. Well, welcome everybody. We've got a couple fun things to talk about today. But I wanted to start with, like I usually try to, with if there's anybody that hasn't been with us before that wants to introduce themselves or has an interesting project or things that they want to talk about in general, this is a great time to do. Hey, John, how are
Good
you, buddy?
morning. Some people know me already. I have interesting thing today. I want to start crowdfunding, and I'm collecting statements from people how much they're ready to commit. If I get enough of these statements, I'm really able to pull this off. Otherwise, I would wait a little longer to raise enough of interest.
Hey, John,
So
I need a presenter for well, my December fell through. Why don't we talk offline about
yeah,
whether
please,
you'd like to do a presentation on
yeah,
it's
please,
Flyvie, right?
Ivy.
Thank you.
It is
Sorry.
EIVIE. I'm gonna leave a website and
I'm on
my
conference.
email in the chat later. Let's
Told
talk for presentation. I would gladly present in December.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, let's we'll talk offline and that'd be fun. I've seen your design and the videos and I'm very intrigued about your where you're going with it and what the commercial applications might be. So that'll be fun. So let's talk. Great.
Thank you. And
Perfect. Yeah. And then we're all gonna have to get our wallets out after that.
that will
Perfect.
really help.
Okay, good. Um, Anybody else? Anything interesting going on or new attendees? All right, just checking. How about events? We've got the big one we have with Vertical Flight Society in February. We'll have the Transformative Vertical Flight event in I think it's in Phoenix in February. Hey, Mike, do
Yes.
you want to talk about that one real quick? Good to see you.
Yes, likewise. I'm sorry if I don't always get to join these. But yeah, we have our Transformative Vertical Flight 2025. So our first eVTOL symposium in 2014 was we called Transformative Vertical Flight, and we've been using that kind of loosely over the years, including since then for the Transformative Vertical Flight working groups like this one. But we've now branded this annual event, which this year includes our autonomous VTOL meeting and our 12th eVTOL symposium. So that's at the Phoenix Convention Center. We've normally had this every other year in Mesa, supported by Boeing and Honeywell and others in the area. But this year we've gotten big. We're expecting about 600 or 700 people. Be at the Phoenix Convention Center. There's room for about 40 exhibits. I've been working on the invites. So there's a technical track on autonomy with a couple dozen, about 24 papers and presentations focused on autonomy. And then we've got invited speakers. So there'll be exciting companies, perhaps like Rotor, that'll be speaking there. You know, if you look at our website, vtol.org/TVF 2025, we've had conversations with the deputy administrator for the FAA, the associate administrator for aeronautics from NASA, the DOT led AAM interagency working group and others. So we'll have some luminaries from government and industry sharing their views on transformative vertical flight, including autonomy and electric aviation.
Super cool. We won't want to miss that one. Thanks, Mike. Any others, by the way, that VFS has ongoing for the next 6 months or so that we should be aware of?
Sure. So the beginning of April, we have our 4th annual Hydrogen Aviation Symposium. So we've got a big focus in supporting hydrogen, really more focus on hydrogen and electric because it's just a game changer compared to batteries. And then our annual forum is in May, and that'll be in Virginia Beach this year, and that's about 1,200 people.
Very cool. Great stuff. Anybody else? Any other events that are upcoming or that you've been to recently that you want to give us a quick report on?
Hi, Andy. Marilena is here.
Hey there.
Hi, hello from Europe. So I've been to European Rotors. It was in Amsterdam last week. So it was an interesting event, and I was on Monday to an YASA workshop with FAA, was on certification and harmonization. So it was interesting.
I bet. I've never been to that one. It's a large attendance.
This is my buddy.
event,
There's
though.
Andy. He's leading.
Hey, Ron, how are you?
Hey, pretty good.
We-
I'm all ears and eyes.
All right.
Not so much mouth.
Perfect. Marilena, that's a large event.
Yes, it was large and it was interesting. I could be only one day. For the rest, I had to teach here in Delft. But anyway, it was good, a good day.
What's it sounded? Did you mention you were doing a little work with the regulators there?
Yes, so the regulators, they had a 1 day on workshop with a network connecting in the evening. So it was an YASA and FAA workshop. And that was interesting. It was all related to the eVTOL, also rotorcraft helicopters, harsh environments, offshore operations, the new challenges. So it was interesting.
That's good. I love that they're paying attention, and there just seems to be increasing participation between, industries, designers, developers, and the regulators. So that's a good story.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to add, sorry, for European rotors, we also had a couple of sessions there led by Dan Newman. So we had a number, I think it was 2 sessions, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, with lots of VIP speakers. Were you one of those, Marilena?
No, I was not a
Okay.
seer.
Okay. I know you have in the past.
Yes, I've been. So probably in the future. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, I hope to go to that one someday. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Have you guys
Yes.
talked about the ICAO Advanced Air Mobility event already at a prior meeting?
We have not, and would love to talk about it.
Okay, yeah, it was a couple of months ago, I think now, but it was an interesting event. With all these things, I think there's a lot of talk. How much actually turns into real action is the real issue, but certainly I think from an optic perspective, it was pretty impressive. It was the biggest event that ICAO had ever hosted. Record attendance. The hall was full. They had overflow seating in other rooms and so on. So certainly from that perspective, there was a lot of interest, and I think some good discussions, and certainly a lot of key players in the industry were there. There was one panel on the opening day that featured Joby and Beta and Wisk and Boeing and Airbus and Embraer, you name it. So it was a good session. I think some good intentions and promises came out of it. We'll just hopefully there's a pathway to regulation that can be somewhat more global than it has appeared to be so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, change is hard. People struggle with it.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then the other event that's coming up is the Revolution Aero convention or conference in San Francisco at the beginning of first week in December. And that's always an interesting event. A good size, again, some good content, good range of industry professionals there. So
That's great.
If anyone's planning to head out to that, let me know. I'd love to meet up.
Yeah, Domjon, you're out there, right? In the Bay Area.
I am. I try to come.
Yeah, that's you got a nice pull from all the Silicon Valley companies and smart folks like Domjon.
Yeah, please share link in the chat.
Perfect. Anyone else?
May also check that out if I'm able to, considering it's not far from me.
Yeah, perfect. Some of these events, they're not super inexpensive, but you know, and they seem to be getting more, but the bonus, Eric, if you're able to drive, at least you can, I try to justify it to say, all right, well, if I don't have to do $500 in airfare, then
Yeah, if I don't need a hotel or an airplane and it's just me schlepping someplace, I'm happy to
Yeah.
do that, to be clear. So,
yeah, exactly. It's a great excuse to network for sure.
yep, definitely.
Perfect. Any other events? On the topic of events, I wanted to reintroduce Sheena Banker. She's joined us before, but I asked her to come back because she's so darn generous. She's, you know, the opposite of some of these events where we're having to spend $1,000 or $2,000 just to show up. She's trying to give us free space potentially for startups that haven't been to her Sun and Fun event at her innovation showcase. So Sheena, tell us again about that. I think we're all very interested.
Yes. Can I present as well?
Please do.
Okay. Let's see here. All right. So I think you can see this PDF.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So our show is April 1st to the 6th, so that's Tuesday through Sunday. And like Andy said, in the innovation showcase, the space is complimentary. And also the space does come with tickets. It does come with parking. We want to, we understand that, you know, obviously it's going to cost you to come and stay someplace, you know, as well as, you know, being able to staff your location, you know, all of those things as well. So we fully understand that and, you know, want this to be accessible for you. So we have some really exciting news that Pivotal has signed their contract to come. So I'm very excited. So we will for sure have one eVTOL there and flying. So it'll fly at least twice on the flight line. So Dennis Dunbar is our air boss, and he is one of 4 people in the US that can do what he does. And I mean, I know I'm a little biased, but I think he's definitely the best at what he does. He's super, super talented, loves to fly, stuff like this. So if you are a part of the aircraft part of it, you know, we definitely have space for you indoors, outdoors, or if you have any sort of innovative technology. You know, this is really, so we have, I have a couple companies that are developing apps, that are signed up. I have, somebody with a really cool helmet, that has like a screen. So, you know, obviously has something that comes down and it projects on there. So that's really cool. I have an engine that's, you know, new and innovative. So there's a lot of opportunity here. You know, I'm trying to get Andy to come, you know, with one of their aircraft and, you know, their whole setup. So, like I said, indoor and outdoor space. The indoor space, so if you're not from Florida, like I originally was not from Florida, and they told me, oh, it'll be a tent. It's an air-conditioned, hard-sided tent, so we take care of you. You're not in the sweltering heat. It's a really great location. So right here is our map. Can you see my mouse moving as well? Okay, cool.
Yep.
So right here is our main entrance. So most people walk in this way, they walk right up here. So, and right here is where the innovation showcase is. So it is prime location. People are going to go past this. This is our second year. So people who experienced it last year are going to be coming back. And also just the marketing is going to be better. The push is going to be better. We already have companies lined up for it. So we're much farther ahead than where we were last year. A little bit different layout for this area as well, this year. So it's just, spatially, it's going to be a lot better. So like I said, really prime visibility here, as well. So here's some photos from last year. We do ask that if you do a booth, that you are there for the whole 6 days from 9 to 5, and have your booth staffed. Obviously pending any, any late flights or, things like that we can't control. But it's a really great show. One of the exhibitors that was in there last year had 5 different companies come up to him and talk to him about investment. One of those inked a deal already. So there's a wide variety of people that come through this space, and they, they're not just all looking, it's not just all, your mom and dad with the little kids. Obviously, we do get some of that, and they're really excited about new technology. But you get serious investors that are coming through and looking for things as well. So it's a really, really cool event. We have the Blue Angels this year, so it brings an even bigger crowd. We average about 200,000 people through the gate. So it's a really big event. We're the second biggest air show in the US. Obviously, nobody can compete with Oshkosh. So you're going to get a lot of visibility. If you are interested, I'm about half full inside. So I would really encourage you to get your application in. Make a note on there that you were on this meeting and that you're Andy approved, and that'll kind of speed it along. All those applications come right to me. And you just fill out your company information and a little bit, give me a little bit of information about your company, so that way I know what you are looking at presenting and exhibiting, and then we'll get you all set up. And like I said, all the spaces come with tickets, come with parking, and that space is complimentary for the first year. So
that's a heck of a deal, Sheena. And this event is based at the Lakeland Airport, which is in Florida on I-4, right between Tampa and Orlando. So it's super easy to get to. And
super easy.
Florida's a top 3 population state. We have, I think, 21 or 22 million people. So there's a big pull there. Sheena's going to pull more than 200,000 people anyway. And if you're a startup trying to pull in investors and get some good PR, then, having your product there, potentially flying there, is a great way to make some noise and get a lot of attention. So I recommend taking up Sheena on her freebie. That you don't get too many of those in this world. So we appreciate that.
Thank you. And we love to shine really big spotlights on people. So as soon as you are signed up to exhibit in the Innovation Showcase, you're on our website immediately. And then anytime we talk about the Innovation Showcase, we try to promote the companies that are in there as well, because we do want to give you guys as much exposure as possible. So there's a lot of complementary, marketing and advertising parts to this as well.
That's awesome. Questions, Brandon? I see you've got your hand up. Fire away.
No, I was just gonna shield for Sheena. I mean, it is a fantastic show. I mean, I have memories. We flew our family CB, Republic CB, at, let's be honest, about 100 miles an hour, minus some headwinds most of the way, all the way down to Florida from Ontario, Southern Ontario, to attend the show. And, we love Oshkosh, and I have great memories as a kid, but that was a fantastic memory as I think I was an early teenager going down to Sun and Fun. It was just awesome. Like a smaller, more organized version of Oshkosh. Don't get me wrong, Oshkosh is very organized, but there's just so many people. It's chaotic a little bit, right?
Right.
Pulling like just epic air shows, and it was just a really, really awesome experience. So for what it's worth, you're part of an organization that brings back some fond memories, and I highly recommend. I think put it back on the radar. We might try to go down as well.
I would love it if you guys did. So,
Yeah.
And whether or not you want to come down just as yourselves, let me know. Or if you want to come down and obviously I want you all to come down and exhibit. That's my job. I need to fill the space, even though it's complimentary. I need to have exhibitors there. But I'd love to connect with you guys, and all of that. And the show also has a lot of extras with it. So Tuesday night we have a concert. We are announcing the headliner, and both performers were announcing on the 21st. So that's included with your complimentary tickets for your exhibit space. And then, of course, the Wednesday and Saturday night night shows that are just flippin' epic. So it's going to be really, really cool. And like I said, the space is already about half full. So if you are planning on coming, please don't wait to fill out that application and get that information to me. It doesn't cost you anything to fill out the application, doesn't cost you anything for the space. So I'd love to get you guys set up right away.
I don't understand what the holdup is, people. Sheena's trying to help us here. All right, I admit I haven't sent in my application yet either, so this is the kick in the butt I needed. Thank you, Sheena.
Good.
Perfect. Any other questions for Sheena about Sun and Fun and the Innovation Showcase? All right, thanks for a very, very generous offer.
Thanks for having me.
Anything else before I introduce our next speaker? Prepare to be underwhelmed because it's me. All right, let me see if I can share my screen here. All right, can anybody see my helicopter truck?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Perfect. Well, I'll ask everybody to mute so we don't hear dogs barking. And just by way of quick introduction, hopefully you know me a little bit, but my name is Andy Mearns, and I've been in business development for aviation basically my whole life. And I started out selling corporate jets and helicopters as an independent aircraft broker for a while. I worked with Bombardier for many years. And then the past few years, I've been helping startups in the advanced air mobility space to develop their go-to-market and business development plans, which has been a lot of fun. And it's very exciting and a lot of changes. I don't have to tell you guys, this is just a really cool space to be in. And we're in a unique time in aviation when everything is revolutionizing all at the same time. So it's been a lot of fun. I was doing some consulting this summer for Rotor Technologies, and then they asked me to come on full time. So I've been the vice president of commercialization here since the beginning of September. So going on into the third month, and it's just been a whole lot of fun. And I'd like to tell you what we're up to, and get your thoughts and opinions on where we're going and what we're up to. So just by way of quick intro, whoops. Oh shoot, I just lost my screen. Hang on. Technical foul.
For what it's worth, I see the about Rotor Technologies slide that's up.
Okay, great. Perfect. I can't see it anymore, so it's a little disconcerting. Let's see.
If you're on a Mac, this has happened to me before. Command tilde, the command, and then the button right below the escape button.
Thank you. All right, hang on. I'm going to stop and restart again. Sorry about that. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Thanks for your patience. Okay. So we're an aerospace company in the Northeast. We're in New Hampshire. Part of the reason we're here is we've got a really cool team of MIT PhDs and scientists that, they came here for MIT and the tech in the Northeast. And then we stayed in the area. We found this fantastic environment and tech campus that we built out in New Hampshire. It's just a super, super cool place to be. And I'm really enjoying the heck out of it. This is some of the team here at the Nashua Airport, which is where we're based. And we've got great R&D facilities and a big tech campus, and then a hangar right on the airfield. And we're about to move into a bigger, newly renovated hangar to begin production next year. So it's a super exciting time. what we're working on is combining automation technology with existing reliable helicopter platforms to create solutions for difficult aviation problems. And I'm going to talk about some specifics today that we're working on in the agriculture space. Here's a little overview video about kind of what we're up to in general, and let me know if you can't hear it.
Rotor builds the most capable UAVs in the world. Meet the Air Truck, a heavy-lift unmanned helicopter that carries over 1,000 pounds of payload, more than any other commercial UAV. Built on a dependable full-size helicopter platform, Air Truck is designed for difficult missions in remote locations. A high-performance aviation engine delivers long flight times and heavy lifting power. And then there's Sprayhawk, a 110-gallon agricultural spray drone. Sprayhawk follows spray paths automatically and uses sensors to detect obstacles, making operations more efficient and keeping pilots safe. Every Rotor UAV is built at our factory in Nashua, New Hampshire in the USA. Our UAVs have been flying since 2022 and have earned numerous accolades for innovation. Rotor also provides proven autonomy technology and services to partners such as fleet operators and aircraft OEMs. We are Rotor. We build big drones for tough jobs.
You can outrun the devil, but you ain't gonna outrun me.
All right, so there's a couple mission profiles that we're very interested in: agricultural applications, firefighting and utility operations, and then also offshore operations. And these all have sort of a few things in common. They are operations that tend to take place over unoccupied areas. So that makes regulators like the FAA and insurers a little more comfortable since they don't know us and track records of newer products. And this allows us to accumulate the flight time and successes that we want to show the world what a great solution this is and how safe it is. But the other thing about these types of applications is they can be fairly dangerous. So when they're flown by people, the results aren't always great. Sometimes they're catastrophic. That's the case. We've all read about offshore operations that have gone wrong, especially when we're using people to move cargo over dangerous waters. That can lead to unfortunate losses. Same with firefighting, and certainly the same with agricultural applications. And when we look at agricultural apps, it's actually quite dangerous. There's an average of 10 pilot fatalities every year, just in the United States alone, and we're not even the largest agricultural sprayer in the world. Pilots have gone on record saying that it's not uncommon for them to have long 12 to 16-hour flight days. And stop and think about that. You know, if I'm just driving in a car, which isn't complicated at all compared to an aircraft, for 6 or 8 hours, I feel like I'm seeing squirrels run across the road at the end of that. I can't imagine doing this kind of complex flying around and over obstacles at speed for that amount of time. They need to do it though because it's weather dependent. Ag pilots make their money when they make their money, and it has to get done when the weather's good and when the sun's out for the most part. So it means that they're doing a lot of flying in situations where they're potentially very fatigued to try to make a living, and it ends up unfortunately being dangerous and claiming lives. So that's one of the things that gets us excited about Sprayhawk, which is our agricultural spray helicopter. Saving lives is sexy, and saving money is a great thing too, and we're working towards both of those goals for our customers. This aircraft still can be flown by a pilot. They're on the ground. So we're not eliminating the pilot from the equation. We're trying to take them out of harm's way and potentially open up this type of flying to even more people than it's available to right now. We're using tried and true platforms like the Robinson R44 so that we're not making something completely new from scratch, and we've got parts, components, everything that we need in place to make it for a smooth transition for an operator of this aircraft, and it's a known entity in a known airframe type, just with a new ability to be flown remotely. And so we're adding flight computers, actuators, things like that, and we're replacing what you would think we would replace in the cockpit. We don't need the seats. We don't need the traditional avionics and cockpit indicators. Bonus there is we're able to save quite a little bit of weight, a couple 100 pounds from, you know, potentially a pilot and seats and all these things that we can then apply to other things, whether it's cargo or fertilizers that are being sprayed. We're adding LiDAR and cameras to allow us to add obstacle avoidance and terrain following to give us enhanced safety over what exists in a conventional aircraft. This is some actual footage of Sprayhawk. So we're just telling it to turn. It's very, very stable. And if we're not giving it direction, it's gonna, no matter what the wind is, it's gonna stay right on a dime because of its internal flight controls. So advantages of a large UAV over smaller ones or smaller aircraft is that we've got a ability to have a larger tank. We can keep our spraying sessions longer, get more done in a day. With the advanced sensors that we have and the GPS technology, we can have very highly targeted spraying. And the idea there is we want to reduce the waste, reduce overspray, minimize the drift, and therefore decrease the pesticides and other fertilizers that we need to use, which can result in a net cost savings and increased accuracy. We're looking for efficiency and speed, and we want to do that in a way that doesn't cause somebody to have to work a 12 or 18-hour day where any fatigue-related mistake could cause issues. And the other idea is that efficiency is going to lead to better crop health and allow our the farmers and sprayers to cover more and have better crop situations. There's a pilot shortage, obviously, and so this is another way to alleviate that, where we're not necessarily replacing pilots, but we're allowing them to operate in a different way. And to the extent that we can and want to draw new talent, we can do that in a way that ultimately will require a different sort of training that potentially doesn't take as long to accomplish. And it can still be professional, certified commercial pilots. But one of the things I keep seeing in the articles about fatalities I see is, oh, well, these are younger pilots. Yes, they're still commercial pilots, but they don't have as much ag experience. Well, it would be great if we could have a situation where we didn't have to, endanger new pilots as they're accumulating flight experience. So this gives even the younger pilots a way to be flying to generate income in a safe and secure way. The other thing, especially with these types of helicopters, is for smaller fields and for smaller amounts of spraying, helicopters give fantastic versatility. So an irregularly shaped field can be covered very quickly, as can the smaller ones, and we still get that accuracy and control that we want. I talked about saving lives and increasing the ability of pilots. Cost savings is another important thing, and that the life saving is very important. It's a little bit more difficult to quantify, but the cost savings are fairly straightforward to quantify. And when we change the type of flying we're doing and potentially increase the amount of flying we can do with each asset, then that allows us to bring the cost down significantly. And that's another target that we're working on that will make this an easy investment for buyers. And then finally, I've got a video about our integration of a agricultural navigation provider that's been around for years, tried and true, that's being used in traditional conventional fixed wing and some rotary wing aircraft, and we're integrating their solution with what we're doing.
I'm Charlotte Keys. I'm a product manager here with Rotor Technologies, and we're excited to show you some of our pilot control technology for the Sprayhawk UAV. Rotor's Sprayhawk is the world's largest agricultural spray drone, carrying up to 110 gallons of payload and covering up to 240 acres per hour. Today, we are in the Remote Operations Center, or ROC, which is one version of the ground control station that a pilot can fly the Sprayhawk from. We're going to show you how it works and how we integrate with our technology partner AgNav Systems to make sure our aircraft is ready to spray.
My name is Lena Ramirez. I'm involved in the marketing and sales at AgNav Inc. At AgNav, we specialize in precision guidance systems, flow control solutions, mission planning, as well as data analytics. We've integrated AgNav's advanced guidance system for aerial application with the Sprayhawk aircraft. In terms of functionality, the user would operate the system just as they traditionally would, using the 5-position switch and the light bar as their main source of guidance. At AgNav, our mission is to always innovate as well as focus on pilot safety. So when we heard what Rotor were doing, we were really excited to work with them to further improve pilot safety as well as revolutionize the aerial application industry.
Hi, I'm Ray Debs. I'm the Director of Engineering for Rotor Technologies. The Sprayhawk helicopter is equipped with all kinds of advanced sensors. We provide all of the information that the pilot needs by collecting data off of the aircraft, and we send it to the ground and fuse it and present it in a nice form for the pilot to understand what's going on.
So right here, I have my airspeed. I'm trying to stay a little above 60 knots, and down below is my height above the crops. We're about 10 foot above the crops. The main difference between flying the 550 and the regular R44 is we have this rate control mode where we're commanding rates instead absolute position of the flight controls, which makes much easier to fly. I can literally let go of the flight controls and stay where it is.
Our latencies are very low, so we don't have problems controlling the aircraft, but we also have automation on the aircraft that makes it simpler for the pilot to fly. Today we're flying a simulated spray mission where we have a simulator flying in the background that is being controlled by the pilot controls. And then we also have integrated AgNav system which plans out our spray patterns and keeps track of when we have the spray on and off. So as we're flying, we can see what we've covered, and we can decide if we need to go back and readdress certain areas.
The AgNav guidance system communicates with Rotor's onboard GPS for precision location accuracy as well as consistent mission results. Using AgNav in the Remote Operations Center allows our customers to continue using the workflow that they've become accustomed to. AgMission is very user-friendly. It allows the operator to use our point-and-click system to map out their polygon over a digital map file. There they can put exclusion zones, waypoints, buffer zones, download map, and then just send them straight to the system. AgMission helps users streamline their operation by helping them keep track of their clients, jobs, pilots, aircrafts, chemicals, crops, as well as tracking and in the near future, data analytics.
Right now we're flying a simulator, but we are also capable of flying the full-scale Sprayhawk from here remotely. So the aircraft can be taken out to the field, and then we'll take off and spray and come back and land from here. We are also developing a terrain following capability and a track following capability. So the pilot would fly the aircraft to the operational area and then engage the autopilot, and then it would take over and spray, and then turn to the next row and continue spraying. So it actually makes the pilot's job much easier. And then the pilot would be monitoring for emergencies or detecting obstacles or traffic.
Thank you for joining us for an inside look at how Rotor and AgNav are partnering on technology development. We're proud to work closely with industry partners, operators, and experts to create a system that is purpose-built for aerial applicators. Our focus with the Sprayhawk is to deliver a user-friendly UAV experience for operators while ensuring high productivity, cost-effective application, and improving safety. I'm Charlotte Keys. I'm a product manager here with...
There we go. That's our team here in Nashua, New Hampshire. All right. Any questions or comments? What does everyone think? Ben, I think I see your hand up and you might be on mute.
Just applauding.
Okay, good, good. I can't get enough of that. Appreciate it.
Nice video. Good integration. It looks really good.
Yeah, we have a rock star social media guy here who he's also an engineer. He kind of does everything, and he just whipped that video up last couple days.
So do you see the operations center running like a fleet of them simultaneously? Once they start doing the field, you'd move to the next aircraft. So you could monitor large numbers of aircraft.
It is absolutely possible, yeah. And we actually have a truck. Our ground control station is like a Sprinter van. We've got a couple of them we've built so far, and the thing is amazing inside. It's really cool. Hopefully, I'll get to show you at some point. But we've got, you know, a full you know, cockpit inside essentially with a very sophisticated helicopter operations set of controls, you know, everything you'd be expecting to see in an advanced helicopter are in this truck, along with lots of screens, readouts, and visuals from various cameras. So it allows the operator, whether they're in line of sight or extended line of sight or beyond visual line of sight, to have really good spatial awareness about what the aircraft is doing, its health, you know, everything that you would expect to be able to do from inside the aircraft, you can do inside this this ground control station truck, which is, you know, can be moved around with the helicopter. For spraying, the you know, the plan is to be able to put the aircraft on a flatbed truck, tie down the rotors, and then move from field to field, and then be able to launch at the field. The nurse truck would have fuel and whatever it is that we're dropping, whether it's pesticide or fungicide or fertilizer, and then just be able to land on top of that truck, refuel when necessary, top off the tank, and then out and back constantly, about every 15 minutes or so, to enable just a whole lot of coverage. What we'd like to get to eventually is night operations as well. You know, when we're trying to minimize the drift of whatever it is that is being sprayed. We don't want it winding up on someone else's field or missing an important part of our farmer's field. And night air tends to be calmest. So we can't do that today. It wouldn't be safe. You know, these are generally VFR operations, but once we've got the comfort level and the data to support it, then ultimately it'd be great to be able to get into night operations as well to really maximize the utility of the asset and to increase the you know, the overall accuracy by being able to take advantage of low wind hours at night.
Andy, two questions. First of all, great presentation and congratulations. Looks like a wonderful product and application. So one, going back to a question before, I wasn't sure I was clear on the answer in terms of the operator to drone ratio. Is that expected to be 1-to-1 or potentially more than 1-to-1?
So yeah, that is a great question. Right now it's 1-to-1. So think of us as being more like a traditional drone where the operator is a full participant and monitoring at all times, and taking advantage of some terrain following and you know, object avoidance capabilities. And we want to, you know, we want to take baby steps, test and develop and improve as we go. And as we do that, we want to then continue to improve and increase our automation capabilities as we move forward. Yes, that's exactly right, Eric, that we would like to get to a place where the aircraft is virtually fully autonomous and can operate with oversight, that when it's good enough and we've proven out the use case, that could be receive oversight potentially by an operator that's just being alerted to you know, any off nominal situations, but knowing that the aircraft is going to be able to do its thing based on the instructions that it's given at the beginning of the day and just run out those flights. It's going to take a minute to get there, but the ability is there, and we just need to, you know, prove it out by continuing our testing and development to get there.
And just one follow-up question, Andy. Just I don't know if you can comment, but in general, do you think there's a path for instead of using, say, the Robinson R44, to using an electric vehicle as the base for this?
Absolutely, yeah. Love to get there, and it could be if you saw my presentation last month, I'm a big advocate of hybrids. I drive a serial hybrid car myself, and it's great. Mike had talked about hydrogen fuel cells. That's another great way to go that gives the range that we want to. So yeah, the flight control computers, systems, and actuators are aircraft agnostic, and we're going with the Robinson platform because it's tried and true, and we don't have to prove out to, you know, a buyer or operator that, you know, it's reliable or there's parts available. That network is already there. But yeah, it would be great to be able to partner with you know, some of the new AAM aircraft designs and so forth, and that's something that is a possibility for the future. We're
Exactly. I'll pause here because I know there's some other questions raised.
Yep. We're focused on this for right now, but you can see where you know, we could take the product and the autonomy and apply it elsewhere. Yep. JP, good to see you.
Good to see you.
What's on your mind, sir?
Yeah, fantastic presentation, and I love the, you know, what Rotor Technology is doing. So kind of the previous speaker already asked my question about the electrification. So I was also wondering about the potential of the electrification and the potential benefit of electrification for the control and the communication and all of that. On the other hand, the second part of the question is, what would be the potential military application of this technology? For the large scale, high payload, autonomous UAV, military's gotta be interested.
Yeah, for sure. So particularly when we think about what a large logistics company the military is, how they move, they tend to do repeated missions when they're moving cargo, and sometimes it's in dark, dirty, dangerous, and contested territory environments where it would be to everyone's benefit to not put any lives at risk. So yes, absolutely, the use case is there for the military.
All right.
Without question. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. I understand you cannot maybe talk too much about it, but you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, you and I need to talk offline after this meeting.
Love to, anytime, absolutely. Hey, Bruce, I see your hand up.
Yeah, great presentation, Andy. So one technical question and a couple ideas of going forward. How much of the existing control system do you guys use? You mentioned actuators. Do you kind of tie in through those? Are those separate, or my experience is folks use the existing, like move the yokes or something. I was kind of just curious how you guys did it on the Robinson.
There's a lot of sort of traditional control actuation in a Robinson. It's a conventional aircraft, and we're replacing those out with triple redundant electric actuators. So we're most or all of that is being replaced, and we're doing everything we can to increase the redundancy so that we don't have to worry about, if there's an issue with one thing failing in the field with that causing an issue with the aircraft. So that is mostly being replaced, and it tends to be a weight saving for the most part, and also we're trying to, as we replace anything, to increase the redundancy so that we're making it safer as we go.
That's super. And yeah, the night operation, more autonomy, of course, the next kind of my interest here is military, but looking at the fire,
Yes.
and doing that, not only doing night operations, but efficient application of the retardant and stuff. So NASA's funding some of that in the SBR, so we should probably talk a little bit. But exciting. And I think we mentioned potentially multi vehicle operations. We fund a lot of research in teaming of autonomy. So having different UAVs. Agriculture was a big thing, fire detection and things like that. So certainly can send some info in some of the folks we had, but very cool, very exciting work.
Thank you very much, Bruce. I'll get in touch with you offline. Ben, do I
I
see
just
your
had
hand up?
one. Yeah, this
Yeah.
time. How did you get, when you were teaching the flight controls, the R-22, the FAA involved? What was at a high level, can you talk through the process you went through to get the FAA to buy off on it?
Yeah, so right now we're on a special airworthiness certificate in the experimental category. And so the buy off there is really to say, look, at this point, based on what we've done, could you sign off? And they did on us doing our testing and R&D flying. And that allows us to build up our data, to run as many redundant operations as we can, both in the field and with our subscale aircraft, to then justify moving forward towards certification. And we take a lot of steps before we put anything on the aircraft. So it starts with in that last video you saw our remote operations center. So that's really where things start. When we want to roll out something new, we simulate that on that big, it's downstairs, it's this big simulator center. And so we'll run it as a simulation first. And then when we're happy with those results, we'll add it to our subscale models, which are actually large remote control helicopters that have the same sorts of actuator and remote operation setups. And then we'll run it on those large model helicopters, do the testing there, and then only after we're happy with those two phases, then we'll roll it out to the large aircraft and start doing testing with that. So it's a kind of a laborious process, but it's important that we get it right based on what's at stake here. And I think the FAA has appreciated that. It's worked well for us so far.
Thanks. Fantastic.
Yeah. What else? We got a couple minutes left. Any other questions about what we're up to here? Damjan, I see your hand up.
What's the flight time before the tank gets empty when you crop spray?
Yeah, so a couple ways to look at that. We've actually reduced the size of the fuel tank just for Sprayhawk. This wouldn't be the case for Air Truck, but because Sprayhawk is actually going to be limited not by the fuel capacity, but by the spray tank capacity, we looked at that and we said, well, we don't need 4 hours worth of fuel for that. In fact, we're going to be taking off weight if we do that. So we've intentionally reduced the flight time duration to less than an hour, to about 50 minutes, because the expected duration of the spray tank is only expected to be about 15 minutes. And so that gives us, 3 times what we're expecting to need. So we got plenty of latitude there. But we're thinking, based on what that 110-gallon spray tank, the time that it takes to empty that out, we are thinking about 4 flights per hour is going to be what we're going to see. And that it depends on what the spray output looks like. It's different for different types of things that are being sprayed, but we're looking at about 240 acres per hour, which is pretty significant, and could lead to a pretty nice cost and time savings for the operators.
Thank you.
Yep. There's probably time for one more question if anyone's got one.
Hey, Andy, this is Bruce again. I'll throw it out. So,
yeah, please.
So one thing, two questions actually. What simulation you're using, and you mentioned it being, potentially system vehicle agnostic. Would that apply to potentially like a fixed wing vehicle or aircraft?
It theoretically could. I don't have to tell you the flight control setup is a little bit different there, but I'm sure there's commonalities. I'm not specifically aware of anything that we've publicized that is in the fixed wing space. We're pretty pro vertical here. I think theoretically that it could. And then I think you had asked about the simulator, and we're using we're using X-Plane, which I use myself and I really like. They have a really good laminar flow dynamics built into their software, and so we add in what we're doing with in the R22 is already built into that simulator, so then we can add in our specifics and then fly it out and test it in that remote operations center to see how things are going to work. And from that same center, by the way, we do flights that are off-site with our subscale model, so the guys can still sit here at the remote operations center downstairs and then be flying model aircraft that are we've got a couple areas where we fly, but theoretically miles from here, and that's a good way to test the latency and any system updates with a low level of risk.
Great, thanks. I'm an X-Plane junkie, so
yeah,
since
I love it.
Version 7, I think so. Great.
Yeah, and I've worked at a bunch of I've been doing consulting for a bunch of advanced air mobility companies, and everybody uses it. It's just so user friendly, and it just seems like they're very, very accurate. Austin's done a great job of creating very accurate modeling, which is not an easy thing to do. It's so complex, and it's like this miracle to me, but it does work really well.
Andrew, this is John Saracen from SAFT.
Hey, John.
Hey, so I know you talked about electrification and obviously SAFT being electrifying the world. I guess the one question I had or just comment is, are you guys working with Robinson on their electric version of the R44? Because we are. I didn't know that maybe that would be an easy transition to electric, right?
Yeah, we have issued some press releases about our the relationship that we're building with Robinson, and we have a good one. And yes, I mean, to the extent that we're able to integrate with other aircraft that they are developing, that would be something that's of interest. And obviously, we're bought in on their platforms and their operations as a company. They're solid.
Good.
And operators love their aircraft, and their support is excellent. So,
yep.
As they build out other models, I'd be very excited about working on those as well. It's one of those things where we needed to pick something, a great baseline to get started with, and just test and R&D and test and test and test. And the R44 is just such a great tried and true platform. It's cost effective. There's a ton of airframes out there. There's great part supply, so that it made it an easy decision for us. But down the road, certainly there'll be other
they are working on the electric, and we're working with them on it. So I would just say that if that would be a platform that is going to be available at some point here shortly. So
I love it. I love it. Hey, thanks for the question, John. And I think that brings us to our hour. So I just wanted to thank you all for being here. And let's do some talking offline, Dom, John, and I'll speak with you as well, Bruce. And everyone, remember to get in touch with Sheena if you're interested about the innovation showcase. I am, and I think I think it'd be a great opportunity for all of us.
Thanks, Andy.
Sheena,
Great.
there's real quick plug. There's on your website, you have some information about the innovation showcase. Is that right?
Yes. So
Okay, so we just need to go to sunandfun.com.
Yeah, so if you go to flysnf.org and then you go to exhibitors, the very first drop down is Innovation Showcase, and I'm actually going to grab this link. And if I can figure out how to throw it in there's the chat.
Okay. All right, everyone go to the chat and grab that real quick.
Yeah, so
Do the
and
same.
the application, you just scroll down, it's right there, and that literally goes straight to me. Like I said, make a note if you if you're applying like from this call, make me a note, either like Vertical Flight Society or Andy or something like that. That way, you're kind of pre-approved. But all those go to me. And like I said, the sooner the better, because it is going to fill up this year for sure.
Yep. Awesome. All right, I'll work on that this week. Thanks,
Thank
Sheena.
you.
Thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see you next month.